The comedian Billy Connolly was famous for saying profound things in the most direct and humorous way possible. His quote about death is a perfect example of that style: simple, bold, a little shocking, and strangely comforting at the same time. Where do you go when you die? The same place you were before you were born. Nowhere. It's over. At first, this statement may sound blunt or even unsettling. Many cultures wrap death in mystery, spirituality, or elaborate explanations about what happens next. But Connolly takes the opposite approach. He strips the question down to its simplest form and answers it with the same kind of honesty that made his comedies so powerful. Turning fear into simplicity. Human beings often fear the unknown. Death is one of the biggest unknowns we face, and because of that, people sometimes spend a lot of time worrying about it. Connolly's perspective cuts through that anxiety with a very practical idea. Before we were born, we didn't experience anything at all, and it didn't trouble us. Think about it for a moment. None of us remembers the year 1500. None of us worried about the year 1800 before we existed. The vast stretch of time before our birth passed without fear, pain, or awareness. Connolly's point is simple. If that nothingness didn't bother us then, why should we fear it now? A reminder to focus on living. Rather than being a gloomy message, the quote can actually feel freeing. If the end of life is simply the end, then the most important thing becomes the time we have right now. It shifts our attention away from worrying about what happens after life and toward appreciating the life we're currently living. For example, someone might spend years worrying about death or what comes after it. Meanwhile, they miss chances to travel, laugh, build friendships, or follow their passions. Another person might take Connolly's perspective and think, if this life is the time I've got, I'd better use it well. That person might take more chances, forgive people faster, or pursue things that truly make them happy. In that sense, the quote becomes less about death and more about urgency for living. The power of dark humor. Connolly was also known for using dark humor to tackle serious topics. Humor has a special ability to soften difficult truths. When we laugh at something we fear, it suddenly feels less powerful over us. Instead of treating death as a terrifying mystery, Connolly treats it almost like a punchline. That approach reminds us that life doesn't have to be lived under a cloud of dread. Sometimes the healthiest response to the big questions is a bit of honesty mixed with a bit of laughter. Living with perspective. Whether someone agrees with Connolly's view or believes in an afterlife, his words still carry an important lesson. Don't spend your life worrying about the ending so much that you forget the story you're living right now. Imagine two people with the same number of years on Earth. One spends most of their time anxious about the future and the unknown. The other fills their days with curiosity, kindness, adventure, and meaningful relationships. When the end eventually comes, as it does for everyone, the second life will have been far richer. The real message. Connolly's quote ultimately feels like a wake-up call delivered with humor. Life is temporary. Time is precious. So laugh, love, explore, and live fully while you can. Because whatever waits after life, the one thing we know for certain is that this moment, right now, is part of the time we've been given.